Welcome to MarcusG.tv. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano. I'm a chef on a mission. Today's mission is coffee. What is the hidden dangers in coffee? First of all, coffee has caffeine. That's nothing new. Some people drink decaffeinated coffee, and caffeine's been linked to lots of things. So this video is not about the caffeine in coffee. It's about it's about a hidden ingredient that we don't often think of in coffee. First of all, I'm not a coffee drinker. I've never drank coffee in the morning. However, over 80% of the US population drinks coffee. We serve like 1.4 billion cups of coffee per day, and the US is responsible for a little under half of that. So coffee is massively popular. Kids are drinking it younger and younger now because you have these coffee drinks in stores. Starbucks has made like the allure of the coffee so magnificent and the experience. So coffee is out there. Espresso, cappuccino, all kinds of different types of coffee. But coffee has this hidden ingredient. What is this hidden ingredient? It's called acrylamides. So acrylamides were noted in a 2002, European researchers noted that acrylamides are actually in certain foods. Now acrylamides, from what I understand, are a white powdery compound that has been used in commercially used or industrially used for things like sewer waste treatment. To sort of bind some of the waste in there. So it is supposedly a manufactured or produced item, acrylamides. So they would have never thought that it was actually in our food. So this 2002 research out of Europe proved that in lab animals that acrylamides caused cancer. Well, first thing people say, well, Marcus, those are lab studies and they put, 100 times more of the acrylamides in those, than you would actually ingest yourself. And of course that is correct. However, when you're dealing with something like cancer, and if acrylamides are causing cancer, linked to cancer, cancer has many cofactors. You could never specifically say this one thing caused cancer. So you just can't say, well, oh, you know what, I got cancer because I smoked, all right? There's many people that smoke that never get cancer because maybe they're eating some certain type of antioxidant in their diet. Maybe they're eating a diet rich in nitrous oxide. Maybe they're doing things that are counterbalancing it. So cancer is all about having cofactors, all these things that add up along the way. So while you may not think that your coffee has enough acrylamides to cause cancer, it could be the 10 other things that you are doing. So how much acrylamides does coffee actually have? That's a great question. First of all, powdered coffees, instant coffees have 100 to 300% times more of the acrylamides because from what I understand, you're grinding up more of the bean. First of all, the acrylamides are coming from the actual beans, and acrylamides in your food are coming from the sugars interacting with the amino acids, and that they're heated to above 248 or 250 degrees. So that's why French fries and bread have a lot of high acrylamide concentrations, because the outside of the bread was heated up to a massive temperature of 500 degrees. It had the sugars and it had the amino acids of the flour, and it caramelized. Same thing with French fries. You have the starch, you have the amino acids, and you're cooking it to well above 250 degrees in a fryer. You're going to 3.25, probably 3.25, 340 would probably be the highest temperature for a fryer to make French fries. So that's where acrylamide comes from in our food. So if you looked at the top 20 acrylamides, acrylamide-rich foods, coffee would be in the top 5, believe it or not. So it's way up there. It's just like number 5 past like the French fries. So how much acrylamides does coffee actually have? So like I said, powdered coffee or instant coffee has much more acrylamides than brewed coffee. So the coffee is actually getting the acrylamides from the beans, from the roasting process, because you're taking a bean that's fresh and green, the coffee beans are green, to a roasted state where you're darkening it. And of course, different cultures or different types of coffee have different roasts of coffee, from a light roast to a heavy dark roast. So the darker the roast, the more acrylamides are building up. And you're gonna then grind the coffee and brew it and infuse those acrylamides into your cup of coffee. So that is the hidden ingredient, the hidden dangerous ingredient of coffee. I'm personally not a coffee drinker. I do, however, every now and then have an espresso. I find that if I have to work really late, or especially drive, Really, it's only when I have to drive at night, a distance, that I will take an espresso, and that will keep me wide awake. Since I don't do caffeine on a regular basis, or coffee or espresso on a regular basis, that when I do that rare time every couple months, that I'm literally wired. And I first discovered this a little over a year ago in September 2015. I was buying a new espresso machine, and I was trying different espressos, and I had the equivalent of a double espresso at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I was wired until 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I could not sleep. So I said, oh, wow, there really is something to this caffeine. Now, I'm probably a little more sensitive than most people because, like I said, I don't do it on a daily basis. When you do things on a daily basis, your body adjusts and it's more used to them. You don't really realize the effect that things happen, which is why when you do an allergy diet, they say rotate foods every 4 days, because then you'll feel the effects. If you're eating the same food every day, you don't associate that effect with that food. Same thing with caffeine and coffee. You just think, well, this is my normal life because I have this much energy, or I don't have this much energy. So the hidden ingredient in coffee, acrylamides. It's not only in French fries. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, and definitely pass it on.